Hey Rani. Yeah, I don't even have a lot applied. This is gonna be interesting. But yeah, first stream after 3 months. It's a bit weird. I forgot how bright this video light is. But I have a Carlsberg to keep me company. Okay, so what's our rig? So I've got the chiller set to 14 degrees. We've got a Hynix based, which is probably not the best card for this bench, but I don't think it makes too much difference. GTX 680 Lightning. We've got the Alien, of course, the Z790 Tachyon, 2 sticks of A-die, heat killer block. I think that's more or less it. Let's watch this run complete. Yeah, XP64, D3D overrider. I'll go through the tweaks as much as I don't really understand them, and probably don't have the right ones applied. But I'm just happy that actually going through the capture card, it seems like the FPS hasn't been affected, which is good, because that was always a concern of way back when Truth. Okay, so that's a pretty good run. I'm gonna note down. Does this view even work? No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. Yeah. All my binning notes for all these 680s. All right. So dragons first does seem to be a thing. 576. Lobby low 2608. 2608. 1255 and 2118 for a total of 206742, which is actually the best run so far. Okay. Car high is the worst I've ever had. Car low is the best. Second best I've ever had. Dragons high first seems to definitely be a thing. I don't know. I'm not really working on run order. I'm actually working on clocks mostly. Let's save a non-harbor bot legal screeny just for future reference, not to be subbed or anything. Ugh. All right. The adaptive clocking is pretty buggy on this OS. Okay, so here's our actual clocks. We don't need the other tab because we're not Harborbot legal anyway. And then, so the bench needs 2 cores. So the West runs on 0, and according to BIOS, these are the 2 best cores. So what I've been doing is I've been just lazily going down one multi. So dragons, maybe for those who are not familiar, I've never streamed this before. So you've got 7 subtests: car high and low, dragons high and low, lobby high and low, and nature. Nature is the one that scales with GPU clocks, and I haven't maxed my GPU clocks yet. Maybe I'll do that next. In terms of CPU clocks, I just ran 5 tests. So I did the 2 dragons on 1 multi less, so about 6290 or so. I can probably do like 1 B clock more if I really want to try hard, but yeah, 63 something is what the dragons will top out at. I don't know if it's one of the dragons or both dragons, but for sure I can't run anything close to this. for one of those 2 tests, and then the other 5 tests are happy to run about 6450 or so. Now should probably try and up my RAM a bit. Encore probably 5.7 is the absolute max, but I just haven't been pushing it. Okay, so we wanted to save a screenie of some description, which, considering we're enforced to hold on, we're enforced to 3 mode, so I can actually do this. The magic of Twitch. Right, okay. Yay. So, okay, we just want to see the subtest, we want to see these clocks, and we want to see these clocks. Boom. Get that. Stream 1. Okay, since nature is fine at the CPU clock, I think what I'll do is just see if I can max nature. Now that's assuming that the other subtests don't end up having I don't know why Afterburner Extreme has started crashing. Ugh. Okay, maybe shut down GPZ. Yeah, okay, that I was gonna say that did the trick, but it certainly didn't. Hey, we have a mod on the chat. Thanks, White Shark. You already sprung into action there, deleting some spam messages. Appreciate that. Hey, nothing to do in BIOS. I don't know what that random crash was about, but let's 64-bit edition. Gotta love it. This is what they call real benching, which is the reason that I'm bad at it, is because it's real benching. Okay, yeah. Let's just see how far we can push GPU clocks in nature. And then see this new hardware wizard thing I could probably get rid of in some way as well. And just for those who are not familiar, the way to launch 3 Mark 01 is you set affinity to 2 cores. Core 0 is used by the OS. That thing you can ignore. Then all of these subtests don't score, so there's no point in running them. On newer platforms, going under options and disabling the loading screens is important too, because that hangs a lot. And I'm just gonna try and push nature. So let's get our GTL going. So I have 2 versions of GTL here. One is for setting the multi and the encore and E cores if they're enabled, and B clock and V core. And the other one is just a per core one to drop the first core because it's weaker and because there's no point in clocking it up to a lower multi. So what were we running? 42, I believe. I'm not sure if I need 1.6. It's probably degrading my chip, but that's what I've been running all along. That's another one to check. Ring, go up 1 on the ring. That's fine for now. Now let's go per core and drop the first core. Well, yeah, I've had a 3-month break, but I think it was certainly necessary. I just didn't have it. Probably showed in the last two streams I did at the beginning of the year that I wasn't really all that motivated for benching, but now I am. So come on. I mean, I can probably just reinstall it. I do have the installer there, so let me do that. Now there should be a... Yes, I do want to... Well, saying that, maybe the settings are what are causing it to crash, but typically you do want to keep the settings for Afterburner if all you're doing is just reinstalling it, just making it to make it stop crashing. See. Okay. In that case, the settings really are bugged. So let's do this and then do that. Gotta love the software aspect of benching. Okay, so it's not crashing at the same spot, I don't believe. NV Inspector to the rescue. Okay. So what were we running? We were running plus 150 here, plus 700. There. And plus 100 here. Oh shit. I'm not so familiar with after NV Inspector clocking, but it'll do in a pinch. Okay, now let's confirm that in GPU-Z. Hey, Benchmark. Well, glad to see you in chat. Yeah. Well, I've been doing the monthly streams with Matt, aka Tech Tested. See here now, it should really be the memory always sets fine, but it should really be showing 1345 or so. But once I run render test once, may need a driver reinstall. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's double check that we've really. Oh, let's turn off adaptive clock. Paradoxically, turning off adaptive clocking has dropped the clocks. Okay. Okay, but we do actually want to try to. I'm going to have to go through this whole rigmarole again, but I do want to actually try higher clocks on this. So let's go 750. Okay, so it's dropped down again, and I think opening up NV Inspector turns on adaptive clocking, so I'm disabling it and running the render test and wait for the clocks to lock up. Now I've done so much stuff I don't even know what my CPU clocks are. Okay, CPU clocks are good. Just make sure priority and affinity are where they need to be. Okay. All right, it's running. Okay, so now we have about 50 seconds to talk a little bit about this. So I've got 4 Lightnings, I've got 2 Sammys and 2 Hynixes. Someone I know wanted one, so they have a SLI set because they already have one. So I went about trying to bin these cards, and this is probably the card with the best core, but it's a bit tricky on these because the older drivers clock much higher. I went through this weird thing where my Sammy cards both clocked exactly the same, which was really weird because one actually had a worse mount. But anyway, I've been running through a lot of the single card stuff is 70 pointers and 62 pointers on this card, and I hadn't subbed them before, so they're good points for like seasonal rankings, but also I just wanted to get familiar with how these cards operate. Okay, so we're still getting like 10 FPS more there, so the going up in whoa, why does it keep doing that? Going up in memory clocks seems to still make sense, so that's good. Is there a way to save profiles in here? Anyway, let's try it with 800. Something a little bit weird is going on with how stuff is happening. But as long as it's still scoring fine, I don't. I'm a big believer in keeping the OS running when it's running. Okay, let's get our clocks up. So 1900 is probably, even in a light bench like this, 1900 is probably what it'll limit out at roughly. Okay, so yeah, that's just how I got onto this. And my previous best, I've never benched 01 on the stream. I don't think. Maybe multi-card like on 295Xs or whatever. Okay, that was kind of expected. Oh, look at these pretty colors. Yeah, so I never bench single card. I've never had a live 980 Ti long enough to bench it seriously, and yeah, I don't know. I saw, and I've sort of dragged my feet on it for so long that it got to the point that my best. Let's just watch this finish. Okay, so obviously the score tanked. My best score ended up being, until now, my best score was a 295x2, like a dual card chiller thing on 12th gen. So that was a bit embarrassing. Now at least I have a 200k score, which I know 200k is still laughable because we'll just go 10 at a time. Because 300k is actually the target people have for single card on LN GPU. Well, I think people have done it air GPU now, but certainly like you need CPU on cold. Let's just make sure that it really applied. We'll do 10 megahertz steps from MEM. Well, it's actually 5 because it's effective, right? I don't know if that's really a small enough step. And my core is bugging out. May need a reboot, but let's see. Yeah, it's not really much else for me to try except a reboot, is there? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm getting hey, good morning. Talk about the devil. I mean, it's good evening for me, but anyway. Yeah, just doing a bit of 01. Not that I know all that much about it, but I can talk in broad terms. While we're rebooting, I may as well talk in broad terms. So, it's essentially a single-threaded bench. In fact, on a lot of OSs, it won't run with affinity set on more than 2 cores because at the time when it came out, dual core was all that existed. For it to score the best on like these modern systems, you give it dual core affinity and you go affinity away from core 0 because that's where the OS runs. So a lot of the top scores you'll see down core to 4 cores or 3 cores because you just need 2 good cores. And you know, on Raptor Lake, you can individually disable and enable cores, so that's certainly what you would do. I think real-time helps as well. A lot of these old benches, real-time helps. So this is the affinity I'm setting. You get this weird pop-up when it starts, and then Yeah, gotta disable all these subtests, but we're actually checking nature now. And then really important, at least on my OSs, there's always loading screen hangs if I don't do this. So currently checking GPU clocks, but I think it's important to keep because it's such a CPU heavy bench. Cheers, by the way. It's important to clock up to the CPU core clocks that you would intend to run in a, was it 42 full run? Yeah, 42, and then 36. Now let's drop core 0 again. Okay, Afterburner Extreme wants to open. Maybe I'll be rebooting again. Extended MSI, never. Go to the different user interface. This one. Okay, that didn't last very long. Okay, we'll use NV Inspector, don't worry. 39 is probably a good number. Let's double check that dropped. I'm not liking this weird p-state crap going on with core 0 though. I might have to, if that's hurting my score, I'll have to investigate it. Okay, so now NV Inspector. Yes, every time I click that, I'm aware of the risks. Plus 100 plus 300. So this is on the LN2 bias as well. There's a bias switch up here. Front position. Well, when you receive your card, at least you can obviously flash whatever you want. Front position is the normal bias. Back position is the LN2 bias. There's some literature out there to say that what were we trying to do? 800, right? So let's try 790. You shouldn't use there's some literature to say that you shouldn't use the LN2 bias position on ambient. I don't know where that really comes from because I'm doing okay with it. My clocks are okay and all that. Cancel. No, I want GPU Z. And the benefit of it is the normal bias on these cards is you only get a power limit of 133%, which I'd imagine on ambient might still be okay, but I just like to play it safe and go with the LN2 version. So it should indicate, it indicates an afterburner actually, if I can get it to open. Okay, never mind. It shows you that it's the LN2 bias. Driver, by the way, would help if I was in this view. Driver, by the way, this is the latest driver that was ever released for XP64, so there's not much messing around you can do there. Let's see if our clocks go up. Maybe not. Oh, that took a while. Turn it off here. Make sure it. No, it didn't stick. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, the driver is a bit wonky on these old OSs, so that seems all right. Yeah, so talking a bit more about 01. So 7 subtests. It's unique in the stable of benches of HarborBot in the sense that it's allowed within the benchmark to rerun any of the subtests as many times as you want, and they're also selectable. Okay, so that was the clocks dropping again. They're also selectable in any order. So the run order, all that to say, run order is important in this bench. I mean, it depends on the card. Like a lot of the AMD cards, run order isn't so crucial, but I think on this card it's gonna be a factor. So the kind of rough, are we screwed again? I think we're screwed again. Okay, let's take the opportunity to reboot. So the rough, I don't know if order of priority is correct, but yeah, the rough priority would be obviously disable e-cores, disable hyperthreading straight away. That gives you a boost. Down core, I mean, if you're setting affinity, down core doesn't maybe even help your score, but I just like to do it because, you know, it's less heat in the chip. You may be able to get a few more clocks out or whatever. But down core to three cores or thereabouts. 13600K, by the way. I don't have any other LGA 1700 chips anymore, except Pentium G7400, which would just be hell here. Yeah, so disable e-cores, disable hyperthreading. RAM, probably not that important. This down core, set affinity to 2 cores only, set priority to real time. Gotta have, I mean, XP64 gives a little bit of a boost. I think in only one subtest, like significantly. So XP or XP64. Those are the basics, and then just clock the absolute shit out of your CPU. That's what it really scales with. I mean, on the 680, it gets a bit interesting even on ambient, because it is not a 980 Ti. Like 980 Ti ambient, from what I've heard, is like pure CPU clocks basically. But here, yeah, I'm definitely seeing nature scaling. Do these two shortcuts both lead to the same thing? Apparently, yeah. Okay, so ABX is back. Here, that's ABX shows us LN2 mode. Okay, so plus 100 millivolts on the core, full power limit. Oh, that's the other thing that the LN2 bias does different. The other bias is limited at plus 100. This is plus 700. I could kill the card, so I'd have to be careful. And then memory is limited at 100. Aux is limited at 50. So just lots of fun with this BIOS. Okay, so core 150. So 890 failed. Let's try 880. Okay. What have I missed, guys? Oh yeah. So maxing CPU, maxing GPU. D3D overrider is so important because there's some subtests here that are like 4000 FPS. So, you know, the old drill with D3D overrider, make sure it starts with the window so you don't forget it. Detection level high, triple buffering on, VSync off. I actually don't know what this bloody application profile thing does. I've never clicked anything else except this, and this. Just a quick look in the driver. It's nothing revolutionary, but in general on old benches, maybe on all benches, you should. The default here I think is high quality, so high performance texture quality. On these old drivers, the other one doesn't exist. There's another one that can be set to high performance usually. Ooh. Oh, I set the wrong thing. Like the offset was wrong or something. That's a bit of a shame. Yeah, so core disabling, priority and affinity, D3D overrider, those will give you like 90% of your score basically. And then the other three things I would say that are kind of optional. Maybe you could argue that they don't make an absolutely massive, like if you're just scatter benching, maybe you leave them off, but there's LOD, and that's where it gets really interesting because you can run individual tests. So you can set 7 different LODs if you want to. So LOD in NV Inspector. High B clock helps on 01 because there's a sort of derived frequency on Intel CPUs called the FCLK, which is not to be confused with the FCLK on AMD. It's totally different. I don't even know what FCLK stands for. But that one being high, I think helps some subtests like nature. So 150. So we were trying to set 790, but I set 890. So we need 780 now. Okay. Did I go through all three things? LOD, high B clock. What was the third? Oh, run order. Okay, so those are like, I mean, you could argue, oh well, your OS is important as well and stuff, but like I think if you just kind of like I mean, there's 7 subtests. This is a lot of work, but if you quote unquote just maximize CPU clocks, disable cores, maximize GPU clocks, apply run order, apply LOD, apply high B clock, I think that covers it. But you know, one actually optimizing all of those, that could be very time consuming. Okay, so Matt, yeah, what does D3D overrider do? So start with Windows is just a convenience thing. Application detection level, to my understanding, just means it kind of like applies whatever it's going to apply like quicker. Like there's less of a danger of it not detecting the benchmark running and not doing what it's supposed to do. But then the two things, like technically the two things that actually happen within these 3D override are triple buffering and vsync. Now vsync, maybe on newer benches it might actually kind of help, but triple buffering is the magic sauce. Now, why triple buffering helps in high FPS benches, I am actually not sure. But it's basically a setting that you apply to make the frames run, like flow out to the monitor quicker than they usually would in high FPS like scenarios. That's the best. Like I could be like way off here, but that's the best way I can describe it. And that's why like D3D overrider, I think it just does nothing. If you're like running a bench at like 100 frames a second, it just does pretty much nothing. Okay. All right, so we've applied our GPU clocks, but adaptive clocking is off, but we're still seeing weirdness. Okay. Okay, so now clocks are not sticking though. Shit. And ThermSpy. No. So I don't know exactly why this is the case, but high refresh monitors are like a totally different thing to high frame rate benches. Like I don't know, it must be something down to like how it's handled in the driver or in the bench itself or DirectX or something, but they are so let's say you have all the benches that are like 50 FPS, like whatever. I don't know, on this car like Firestruck Ultra or something would be 50 FPS. So you have all the low FPS benches and they are just not eligible. Like neither D3D overrider nor high refresh monitors do anything for those. Okay? Then inside of the group of benches that are high high FPS, Aquamark, O3, 01, and depending on the card you've got, maybe stuff like Heaven Basic, 05, 06. Inside of that group of benches, some like the D3D overrider, like actually a bigger number like the D3D overrider, and some like high refresh and D3D overrider. But I don't think there's a bench that likes high refresh but no D3D overrider. So like D3D overrider helps, as far as I'm aware, in all scenarios where like your FPS is just like thousands, and then really only 3 Mark 03 uh, likes the high refresh monitor. I mean, I'm sure there's other scenarios, but like just in a really, really generalized sense, that's how I'd break it down. Is like D3D overrider. Definitely use it for Aquamark 01, 03. And then if you have like a 4090, then probably it works in 05 and 06 and stuff as well. And Heaven, Extreme, and Basic and stuff. But like definitely 01, 03, 05. What was I saying? 01, 03, and Aquamark. Definitely D3D overrider, unless you're like on a motherboard iGPU. And then only 03 really, I would say, is it's absolutely like not like pretty much mandatory to have a high refresh monitor. And then Elgato can emulate a 280 yeah, but I have a 240 monitor here. I have an Acer. But like 03 is a okay, to briefly touch on the 03 topic, people bin monitors for 03 because even things like this DSC, display stream compression, are a factor in 03. Like you want a monitor that will do, and you can do monitor overclocking as well, right? Like so some people run like 500, 600 megahertz hertz because every hertz helps 03. So you bin monitors for how high you can overclock them, but also whether or not they have DSC on in all display resolutions, because the monitor gets sold as a 1080p or a 4K monitor, and 4K 240, that pretty much requires DSC in a lot of scenarios, and DSC is bad for the score in 03. So you want a monitor that I think 03 runs in 1024 by 768. In 1024 by 768 specifically. Ideally you want to drive it with DVI, because DVI is lower latency again than HDMI and DisplayPort. So you kind of like you're cable binning, monitor binning, yeah, like monitor model binning, as well as maybe even binning different monitor samples of the same monitor, because you definitely want no DSC, ideally DVI, and then overclocking to like 500-600 hertz. So that's a whole other thing. So yeah, if Elgato emulation mode helps, I totally believe that. But the absolute best way of running 03 is, well, the only thing there is, so I don't think there's any 3090 Ti's with DVI. So then you'd be binning between DisplayPort and HDMI, because also the monitor will overclock differently depending on the display output used, and then maybe might even enable DSC on one output and not the other. So there's a lot there's a lot that goes into that. Adaptive clocking off, but it's still dropping down. Shit. Let's reapply the clocks in NV Inspector. Maybe it's going to be different. Down, apply, up, apply, close, run a test. Okay, that worked. Okay, it's just a bit buggy on these old OSs. Okay, so now we need to set our CPU clocks. Like Legacy 3D is just fascinating. You just like, I'm not even scratching the surface here, and I just had like a 5-minute monologue on monitor binning. Okay, 16, 36, not 46. That would definitely cause a hang. 36, 42, and ooh, the first one is even dropping without the per core apply. Might have to look at my power saving settings in BIOS when I get a chance. So it shouldn't matter. I'll just go 38. Priority and affinity. I shouldn't really need to double check this, but I'm paranoid, guys. Okay. So and like if you're running like Port Royal, so the ThermSpy, I think people are familiar with ThermSpy in general, but like it always helps. So Nvidia, let's say way back in the day, graphics cards, you would apply clocks and it would just run those clocks and there was no power states. But the 680 has it. I don't know if 580 probably has it as well, but the 680 and later for sure, you have power states. And the card is trying to like save you money by clocking down. It's also like it's good for the longevity of the card. It's great for daily, but for benches like low latency benches like this, like high FPS benches, like especially something like 03, I mean 01 as well. Um, you just want every component of your system to basically be fully clocked up, like the microsecond, like the picosecond that the bench starts, because it's thousands of FPS. So if the first half a second is like 1500 FPS instead of 2000 FPS, that's going to impact your score. Whereas like Port Royal or something, I mean, it never hurts, right? Like it's probably like D3D override, or maybe triple buffer enabled on Port Royal does like 0.001%. But on these old benches, just so important to have your card in the top power state, fully clocked up, and the same with your CPU. So you don't want any like you want to be on the high performance power plan and all that. So I think that's maybe an easier concept to grasp than D3D overrider and monitor binning or whatever. But like, you know, obviously like especially with loading screens disabled, which I have to do because it would otherwise hang. Um, it becomes so important to have everything fully clocked up immediately. So maybe for the purposes of this, let's go 770 of just this nature that I'm looking at here. Maybe wouldn't do anything. I'm not even looking at the score right now, but I just want to have a routine available to me, let's say, and that allows me to have the card fully clocked. See, I've already benched this bench like for like 2 days or something. I feel like I'm only getting started, really. Da, 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 okay. Is it gonna drop? Okay. Yeah, I'll just have to apply an NV inspector. Maybe just always? I don't know. Dun, dun, dun. Looks better. And then I mentioned 6 things earlier of what you need to do for this bench, but like rebench. So even if you have the correct run order, let's say, might be worth pointing out that you can override. So like as soon as you have a run of all of the 7 sub tests done, a score will pop up. But it's a little bit like W primer or something, where you can just rerun, and if the next score is better, it will update the score. If the next score is worse, the only thing is with W prime, it always shows your best score. I think it just gets stuck on your best score. Here you can actually make your run worse, so you can screenshot in between and then keep going, but it's a bit of a danger. So the kind of ideal way of doing things would be to have like a set run order of the first 6 subtests, and then have a subtest that has high variance and run at the end. Is it? I think it's car high, isn't it? Car high is the one. Yeah, car high has a lot of variance. So now you could put it at any point in the run order, because then you just rerun it on its own at the end until you get a high, like a popped score. So if you look at old world record scores of 01, a lot of the time it's like a super iced up pot, because they'll have had a previous score or a previous session, 760, to find the max clocks of the card and the max clocks of the chip, and then just have a session where like they know exactly what they want to do and they're just rerunning for like hours trying to get a good score. I'll pull up I keep saying once I do a full run, but it's looking like we're far away from that, but it's okay. Minus 20. Okay. I mean, 10 megahertz steps is not probably, it's definitely overkill, but I'm committed now. And I mean, I'm trending towards 700, and 700 has passed. So absolute worst case scenario, we only get like 10 out of it or something. Okay, 153.5. Bugged. 6, 30, 36, 42, wasn't it? 42. I don't know if I really even need to drop the first core, but it's nice to just know that your clocks are set. So if I find like a good setting, I can actually attempt a full run. Okay, that's looking good. Close this. Turn off adaptive clocking. Oh shit. Forgot to disable load screens. This is what happens when you forget to disable load screens. It hangs instantly. Okay, I feel like I'm getting to the point where, I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but a lot of the is it an exaggeration to say that a lot of the kinks are being worked out? Maybe it is, but I'm learning. How's everyone doing in chat? Getting stuck into the 6600K comp, hopefully. I think it's officially started now, right? Okay, this is it. Let's start benching. I'm gonna put this here so you don't have this really weird out of focus bottle in your view. Okay, 7. I just hope it's not other stuff that's happening that's causing that hang. Okay, I'm gonna be suspicious and drop the CPU just once, and then if we get a pass, I'll immediately try with the higher CPU, because that would be good info to know that now with the so we'll go 41. Now with the higher clocks, somehow the CPU doesn't pass it 6.45 anymore. Okay, did we set affinity and all that? Did. Don't let me forget loading screens. Nature is what we're testing. Okay, so now GPU clocks. I wish I didn't have to acknowledge those risks. Oops. No, I don't want that. Nah. Ooh, it even like travels across magically. I don't like the design of this like 20-year-old application. It has apply defaults right next to apply clocks. I don't like that. You're working on your OS. Is there going to be one OS for all the benches, or are you gonna try hard and have one per bench? Okay, that's definitely in need of an adaptive clocking disable. Is it going to be stubborn? It's good to be back streaming. It's just when you're not benching, like sometimes, like I just needed a break after Country Cup, and when you're not actually benching, it's like a food pyramid type thing for me. I need to like the bottom tier of the food pyramid for me is, do I actually bench myself on my own off screen? I keep saying off screen, off stream enough to then cherry pick something out of the group of things that I'm benching to feature on a stream. There's like I can't. Okay, what did we? Okay, 29. Okay, that's decent. Let's immediately. How can I open a clocking? Okay, so that's 750. Let's immediately go up. And retest on the higher CPU to make sure it wasn't CPU. And then make sure our adaptive clocking situation is still okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, the overclocking show is good because it's talking about benching without benching myself. It's ideal for someone who's not currently benching. I mean, at the start of it, I wasn't anyway. Oh, God. Let's do it like this. Let's. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, it's starting to look a bit like a driver install may be required. Maybe we can still fend it off for a little bit. Win 10 from or win 7 for most. Hold on, let me try and get the context for this again. So comp 600k. Nah, you gotta get a win XP ready for max valid at least. So an XP for max valid and PyFast obviously and W prime. Actually, if you really only want to get two OSs running, you use XP for frequency, W prime, and PyFast, and you use the same Win10 for Geekbench and HarborBot 1080p. There you go. That's your free benching advice. Can't get XP working on Z270. Wasn't there? There's a classic. There's a classic. I think OGS supplied XP somewhere. There we go. This fire kill one doesn't work. It's just I thought no. Maybe I'll look for it another time, but I was pretty sure that there was one on the forums that's pretty bomb proof. It's not the best XP ever, like in terms of efficiency or whatever, but it works on all the Skylake derived platforms up until Z590, I guess. Let's not forget this. Not 52, 42. No, I'm dumb. 53.5. Alright, so those are the clocks we want. Now we just per-core it down. Looks good. Apply that. I'm feeling I'm kind of getting close to being able to do. That's not what I want. Being able to do a full run. Down, apply, up, apply. If anyone on Twitch was like randomly tuning into this, it's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Downclocking, upclocking? Windows XP, 64-bit? What the fuck? Okay. Come on, get those clocks up. And stay up. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, hopefully no fail now. Hopefully our CPU mount hasn't degraded or something to such a degree that we'll get a fail here. Yeah, okay, so after this passes, hopefully, I still need to work a bit on my core and see if the core scales in nature as well. MSI, so what's even... Do you use like XTU or something to NOS overclock on that thing? Like, I can't imagine there's a command center for it. Okay, so it was 2129 last time, and now we've got a 2130. Let's see. I should take notes. So 90, 780, 770, 760, not okay. Okay. Yes, I accept the risks. Let's try 200. What is there to lose but our faith and dignity and general sense of reality? Okay. Make sure that there's no artifacting. -1 VRM temperature. I like that. TDP is fine. Oh, VDDC doesn't get reported in XP. That's interesting. Let's do it. Ooh. Okay, let's just make sure it wasn't a random fail. Just like literally just relaunch the bench and try again. And I'll do I'll do 15 megahertz steps on the core because that's actually the granularity that exists there. Okay, that was a random fail. Interesting. Nature is nice. I mean, in O3, there's also a subtest called Nature, and it's also, I mean, there it's always in the last spot in the run order because you're not allowed to modify the run order. But it's just, it's like seeing, there's also a butterfly in that, so it's nice seeing just the butterflies and being like, okay, this run is going to pass just as it hangs. Okay, that's fine. We don't have. I mean, I could give it more volts, but I just don't think the scaling will be all that magical. Like, I'll just the volts I currently have, I'll just find max clocks and then do a run. While that reboots, I'm gonna get a beer. Oh look, I didn't miss anything. It literally just popped up. Okay. 750 is fine. 200 core isn't. Well, let's try 185. Did we set? No, we didn't. And then GDL. Do our little NB inspector trick. Cheers, by the way. Yes, I do. I'm fine with the risks. Why is it not detecting the voltage offset? May have to get the multimeter out in a minute. If I keep seeing wonky behavior. Oh, so there is a command center. Interesting. Wouldn't have thought, but you know. What do I know about MSI motherboards? I know my B550 Unify X died a horrible death because of their terrible BIOS chips. That much I know. I do have an MOCF now though, which I hadn't had an MOCF in a few years, so Maybe soon I'll get more experience. All right, that looks reasonable. Okay, drop the first core. I love the little guy sitting next to the river doing his angling. He's got a pretty badass spear, I have to say. I'm kind of jealous. It's also funny how we well, first of all, it's funny that no one ever envisaged the FPS counter going, like the FPS going over 1,000, so the FPS is just locked at 999, like in every subtest. Okay, I'm gonna try. I should just attach a multimeter. That's what I'm gonna do. Because the multimeter is quite handy as well, just to see when you're in what power state, because the volts go up with the power state. Is there a way I can... Ooh, I can even show it on screen. Look at that. Ugh, that glare. And I have... This is a cheap Chinese multimeter, but it does light up. Okay, so 1.37, that's what I would expect. So it's already applying shit now. That's good. Okay, let me leave the core. Oh, see that drop when it went in? Okay, we want... Okay, let's just not... So there's... a well-known saying. Okay, so now, okay, 1.42 with adaptive clocking up. 170, 750. So adapt. Why did it? Okay, every time I apply, it seems to turn off adaptive clocking. Is there a way? I didn't plan for this. Is there a way I can get it in view? Not really. Okay, I'll just look at it myself. How about that? I can call out the values. Okay, so volts seem to be set, but core is trailing down. But as long as it sticks now, no, it's not. Okay, that's sticking. Now we need our CPU clocks. Select subtest. Come on, XP, you can do it. Turn this crap on. This seems rather tedious. Welcome to 3D benching. Oh, why is it showing 0? That's funny. At least that still lets me clock stuff down. Okay. If this passes, I'm doing some sort of full run. Maybe drop CPU first. Hit the dragons. Make sure everything's fine at these GPU clocks and the other 5 subtests. What I was going to say earlier was, well, first of all, the flow of water down the stream is pretty impressive. That's a pretty strong flow. Then the other thing was like only 3 digits for the FPS counter. Like, oh. Am I even going to be able to do like plus 150? I mean, yeah, let's. I feel like the scaling with GPU memory was pretty good though. I don't really want to drop GPU memory. I kind of rather drop core really. I'm getting there though. So that was 200 no go, 185 no go, 170 no go. Um, 170, 170, 170. Bad at math. 155. That's pretty, like 155. That's pretty tame, right? All right, so our volts are going up. Volt sustain, clocks. Ugh. Yeah, damn it. Keep it open. Monitor. So that's all fine. This is still fine as well. It's gotta pass this. This is like 03 clocks. Like, can't be heavier than 03. So it's funny how we bench 3 Mac 01 second edition, but I don't even know if you can still, like, on archive.org or something, find the first edition. Like, what was different about the first edition? Why does no one talk about the first edition? Why is it not ranked or whatever? Was there like a big cheat in it or something? I'm not commenting on the run. There's something I could say, but I'm not going to say it because I'll jinx myself. Okay, so let's see how much core scaling we ended up having. No. Okay, so core scaling is like nothing. So we can... It's all memory scaling. Like even that, like all that optimization was like 12 FPS. I mean, that could be a nature that I'm happy with. Let's no, okay, let's not be lazy. Let's relaunch the bench. Let's check our clocks. Let's actually downcore and run dragons first. And let's do a full run. Let's not... So there's an expression in Australia. Oh, I have a few things to say about Australia. Okay, let's... and let's not forget the really important stuff like that. Let's do dragons. Let's drop CPU by 1. There we go. Let's double check our GPU-Z. Yeah, we're out of 3D clocks again. Like when you X out of a bench or when it finishes or something, it must do that. Not ideal. Seven 5 benching. I disagree wholeheartedly. Okay, so we've got our dragons selected. Yay! A different subtest. Okay. Voltage looks good. Okay, let's wait for our dragons to finish. With 775 with all the CPU, like this is like a chill Friday, like Saturday night, you know? Like compare this to 775 benching where you're like trying to get 1,000th of a second out of pi fast or some shit. One of these days I'll been through my 775 chips, like probably when I'm retired, you know, but nothing else to do. All right. So we've got our dragons. We've got a 3608 and an 1867. So that dragons high seems to vary quite a bit, but we have a solidly better dragons low. Now let's do a straight shot of everything else, just with the CPU up, and just making sure that we're not in adaptive clocking. Literally just one ratio. Keep it running for a bit. Make sure it doesn't drop back down again. Oh, it did. Okay. I guess I can just launch the bench while it's still up. Yeah, fuck it. All right. Cars low. So it's going to go cars low, cars high, Lobby low, lobby high. What am I missing? Nature. That's 5 tests. Yeah, that's all. It's 7 tests total. We've already run 2 tests. Cars low, cars high. Lobby low, lobby high. Nature. Or a blue screen. That was CPU related, wasn't it? Or was it card related? These things are addictive. I shouldn't have opened this pack. Sweet chili flavor is like kryptonite. Well, now the question becomes, was that a random like CPU hang where I just got unlucky, went on the wrong core or something? Or does it actually not like those clocks for that subtest? So now what we do is rerun the same thing. Just once to confirm what's going on. Let's make sure to apply our per core as well. For a second it sounded like my reservoir was empty and the loop was actually running dry, but it's just the pumping weird, making noises. Come on, GPU-Z. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just want to see if the card tests are going to pass. I don't really... Changing it... You sound like a non-bencher. I would prefer that over changing all these settings every time I have to reboot just to realize one thing you changed screws it all up and you have to reboot again. That's just benching. Like if you're optimizing stuff... Okay, so we're consistently getting... Can I salvage this? Can I like... Page up, page down? I have sort of like partial keyboard control, but not fully. Okay. God damn it. I just want to F4, Alt F4 out of it. So close. I will say O1 is extreme in that regard. It's just that little bit extra. So now what I can try is to see if it's CPU. I can I could run one multi-dropped car high, dragons high, dragons low, or car high, dragons low, dragons high. If that passes, then run car low, lobby high, nature on the higher CPU. We've got a plan, guys. Well, I wonder what will happen first, me finishing this entire bag of chips or a complete run of 1-1. Alright. I'm feeling it. So those weird like blue screens and like in OS hangs, that usually points towards CPU. So we'll do a 41. Ring one up. I mean, I may as well apply the per core, even though so what was it? Ugh. So the second tab is if you want to, here you just select car, dragons, lobby, nature, but you can go in here and then go car high, dragons. So now it's 3 tests selected. Let's per core down to 35. Okay, GPU clocks. That all seems fine. Now let's wait about 15 minutes for GPU-Z to open. Ugh. And I accidentally opened 2, and now they're contending with each other. Can I kill one? I mean, the way these things go, usually you have to kill both and then launch a new one. But is there even a splash? Am I getting a splash? Okay, I'm getting a splash. That's somewhat encouraging. Oh, is there no transcoding on the stream? Oh shit! Someone I know can actually watch the stream because it's 6 megabit. They messaged me. I must not have streamed in so long that they've turned off transcoding for me, or maybe Amazon are just being cheap. Like literally one of the biggest companies in the world, and they can spare a bit of transcoding capacity. Okay, so that's launching. I mean, what I'm probably going to end up with is running all the high tests first. So car high seems to like drop CPU clocks. Because when I was trying to run full runs at 6.4 gigahertz, the fail was during dragons, but I'm pretty sure it was dragons high, not dragons low. But the good news is now that we have, I mean, I assume dragons are going to be okay. I probably shouldn't, but let's say this passes. We've got car high passing at the high GPU clocks, both dragons, and nature we already did many times before. So that's 4 of the tests. Car low has already passed. The only ones that we haven't gotten to yet because they're later in the run out order is lobby low and lobby high. What's the actual load? You ask all the difficult questions. Right, so now we got a per core up. Okay. Get our clocks up. Maybe this is the first time we get the GPU that doesn't open bug, which is also a thing. Oh. Shit. So like basically upping the GPU clocks has made it harder on the CPU. So that's what is that what's happening? Yeah, the nature of the load is very different to what it would be in something like Firestrike, because like let's say a GTX 680, right? Like that's like 30 FPS in Firestrike. The CPU during the GTs in Firestrike has to do like virtually no work, you know, like it's not just I'm not like it's not like every FPS of every bench puts the same load on the CPU, but like you can roughly use that as an equivalent. So just imagine like the load in at 30 FPS on the CPU would be virtually non-existent, whereas at 3000 FPS it's still not big. Like I'm clocking up to 6.45, like it's obviously not big, but it's more considerable. What I'm now gonna do, I'm getting a bit like I think for the sake of sanity, let's do everything at 154 B clock. At 61 or 41 multi. And let's do the highs first in one run, and then the lows. And just see if we're good in terms of, because I'm not getting much out of that one multi up down thing. Maybe that's something I just check off stream. So let's do 41. A nice solid 6.318. Why did I close CPU-Z? I hope that the adaptive clocking isn't like fucking me over in some weird way. I don't think I set the option yet. Indeed I didn't. That's kind of saved me. And now render test. Okay. Car high, followed by Dragon's High, followed by Lobby High. Hopefully, we'll finally get to see our first lobby. It's based on Matrix the movie. It's actually cool. How are we? An hour? What is it? An hour and 37 minutes into the stream, and we haven't seen the lobbies yet. Dragon's High. Okay. One test away from Lobby High. You gotta look like the ingenuity and originality of these like rendered scenes. Flaming arrows, a dragon terrorizing a city, which is obviously this is the inspiration for that last episode of Game of Thrones, right? Sorry, spoilers. Here we go, lobbies. It's Neo. I mean, basically a version of Neo that's different enough from the real Neo that they're not haven't gotten sued by Warner Brothers. I think that's basically the gist here. Okay, let's just sanity check our score. So car high is garbage, but we can rerun it. Dragon high is also garbage. God damn it. Lobby high is actually kind of fine. Now, do I run the other subtests on the? Yeah, I'm gonna try it once at least. Let's. But I'm half a B clock higher. I'm gonna lower the. Am I gonna lower the B clock? Ah, this is dodgy. We gotta run and test our way there. Yeah, a lot is not set. I was gonna do that next. And the really crazy thing in this bench is that the LOD required on LN2 CPU is different to the LOD required ambient. Just to keep you on your toes. Okay, well that was expected, kind of. I don't know why I bothered to try. It's weird how it half fails like that. That's part of the challenge. That's part of the fun. Don't be so hung up on it. It's like, if it wasn't hard, why would we do it? We wouldn't do it. We'd give it up probably. I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do a straight through run at. So 154 passed. 155 could be. That could be a lot. 155 is 6355. I don't think all the tests can do it. So 154.5 and see how we go. Okay, here we go. Let's get all our utilities up and running. This is so much fun. Imagine this on, like, people ran this on like SR2s and stuff, you know? Like, wouldn't you just go totally insane? Like, and like SLI, you know, like four-potting it and stuff. Whoop, okay. Well, that was something different. It's probably trying to apply things a little bit too quickly there. Is it gonna recover? Yeah, 34. Counterintuitively and confusingly, 55 is actually a good post code on this platform. Like, it means you're like posting. Any other platform is like, oh, shit, my board's dead, my RAM's dead, my chip's dead, my MC's dead, the board is wet, I've got to end up my session. And here's like, you actually like to see 55, whereas the code that I have trouble with is like 0D, 54, that kind of stuff. All right, we're getting places. Are we? I mean, maybe. This is an accurate representation of 101 though. You get absolutely nowhere for the first week. Oh, I was trying to like go up really far in one go. I kind of only just realized that. Okay, so we've got our B clock, got our V core, got our ring, 41. Okay, that should be fine. That's set, that's set. Let's open up ABX. Drop the first core. That's fine. Check our clocks on the GPU. Whoa. Hang on, GPU Z open. Now things are getting a bit suspicious. Yeah, I got a 206,742. Okay, I'm gonna try and post 150 just so I'm not going up insane amounts. I don't know, maybe going up that much B clock hurt me. I mean, this might end up. Let's see if it posts this. I had no problem running like 161 B clock runs not so long ago, but I was on a different BIOS. 4C0D 31 34 79. Still a lot. 55. I think we're posting. All right. I'm gonna leave it in the hands of the gods, and I'll be right back. It posted. Yay. Right, okay. So 150 is posted. At this point, I just want to see. I mean, what I just 54.5. I should probably like open GPZ straight away if there's concerns regarding it actually opening. It's slow. Okay, apply clocks. Render test. Okay. All right, we've got a car high. So, what have been our pain points? So, when we were trying to go car low, car high, 42 multi, so 6.45, that was a consistent fail. Then recently, okay, recently I went 6.47 or something and was trying to do car low with that, so it's probably a bit unrealistic. I just hope the score is somewhat respectable. But yeah, a lot. I'll apply a lot next. What I've got in my notes for modern platforms. So just to make things even more exciting, if you look up old guides on how to run a one, it'll talk about like negative lot and stuff. But that's like Sandy Bridge, and like on it's totally I mean, not totally platform dependent, but it's somewhat platform dependent what LOD will work or like will be best or not. But yeah, once LOD is applied, The 3 mark logo, the timer, and the FPS counter blur out. Okay, what's this car? That was Dragon's Heist, and now Lobby Low. More patience. But I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here. Isn't like all overclocking about patience, really? I mean, it totally depends on what you kind of get your kick out of, you know? If you want to run a chip and run 20 different benches through it, I'd argue the overall level of patience required is probably the same as running O1 on one card. But like, it just depends on what like you find interesting. Do you find lots of different scores interesting, or do you find slow optimizations interesting? Like, I like this, but I do realize that I've benched, I think, every night this week except one, and all I've really done is run one card through like 5 benches or something. Like, yeah. It was interesting to see how well the 06 scored on it's the last test. I'm seeing a little bit of artifacting. This is butt clenching time. Shit. God fucking damn it. I think it's memory though. Like, you could tell that was memory. So I'm just gonna take the opportunity to pull the OS and put another version of Envy and Spectre on it. That will hopefully have a lot. Oh, come on. I'm misclicking. Cancel. Okay. Sorry. See. Benching. New. Okay. My probe is loose. My other probe is also loose. Jam it in there. Okay. All right. So you could tell that that was towards the end of nature. So when we were going down 10 memory clocks at a time, that clock passed through nature, and nature is probably the toughest of all the 7 subtests to pass GPU wise. But we were running it in isolation, and like maybe the memory chips are just getting a little bit warmer or whatever. So it doesn't surprise me that towards the very end of nature, in a one shot run of all 7 tests, that happens. So I'm going to drop 10 more and just hope for the best, basically. Tweaking for one bench might translate to just a handful of cards. Not really. Like, that is actually true. Like, benching O1, you apply the exact same principles to all cards. Pretty much. I mean, okay, LOD will be different for AMD than it will be for NVIDIA. but and maybe you need a slightly different run order or something. But like this is pretty much what I'm attempting to show here. I think pretty much applies to everything. God damn it. Take this bag of crisps away from me. No. Use this bot as a cheat sheet for 01. Okay. Well, hopefully we have a working NB inspector now, so. But I'm gonna do a full run. I need to make sure my maybe the way to do it is nature first, right? While the card is still cold. I'm tempted. I don't know how that affects like the score and shit, but okay, no, let's do. Oh no, it fucking reset BIOS. Piece of shit. Hey Geronimo, welcome to the stream. We're benching 3 Mark 2001, a legendary benchmark. Ask any questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can. The rig is, you can get it via exclamation point rig. So you've kind of got to walk up the B clock after a fail like that. So the next question becomes, do we get a full run off? Oh, under 2 hours is already over. It's an hour and 59 minutes in now, so that'll be tough. But under an hour and 30 or 2 hours and 30 maybe. Come on. Post system, please. A9 means entering BIOS. There we go. So 125 trained up. So now we're going to train the 150, which is what we actually want. 150 post, 154.5 NOS, 41 multi, 36 on the cash. What is it? 160 on plus 160 on the GPU core, 740 on GPU memory is what we're going to try. Maybe I need a. Are they? There's no memory chips on the back, so unless I need another fan to direct at these memory chips. The fan is mostly there for the VRM because I actually have the VRM bare at the moment, which is probably not a good idea, but you know, it's benching. So yeah, autumn or fall as you call it in the US has set in Australia for real. It's like in the 60s Fahrenheit, like between 10 and 15 degrees, well, lower than 10 at night, but let's say during the day between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius. Raining all day today, all day tomorrow. Fun, but you know, part of how seasons work. Okay. All right. Let's make sure we. Okay, so the date reset itself. That happens sometimes on this OS for some reason. Boom. Apply the profile, but drop 10 mem. Oh, already had GTL open, but it doesn't harm to open a second instance. At least it doesn't lead to crashes. Not eCores, ring 36. That's what I get for saying it doesn't lead to crashes. Oh, amateur overclocker, that's okay. It's a pretty universal language, right? Like higher voltage, higher clocks equals higher scores. All right, let's do it. This is the run. Yeah. All right. One instance of GTL, one instance of CPU-Z, one instance of Afterburner, apply clocks, open the bench, and then not open anything else until the GTL business is concluded. Yeah, okay, so 6, 36, 154.5, 41. Check clocks. Clocks look good. Open per core. Apply all the stuff in the bench. Okay, fuck it. Nature first. I'm going to chicken out a bit and just make sure I can get a run off. Okay, now let's check clocks on the GPU. Yeah, if you're not on the Discord yet, Discord. Yeah, so there's 2 different Discords there that you can join. All text based, so should be fine to use Google Translate for that. Okay, yeah, nature first. That's probably a good run order anyway. Okay, I feel like progress is being made. It's a bit slow, but we're feeling our way through it. I just love nature. Look at all those butterflies flying around. The guy with his rod, you know. What more do you want? Mountains in the background. Can I just loop nature 7 times and then get a score out of it? Thanks, Geronimo. Everyone always needs good luck. There's never there's never too much luck going around, I don't think. Is there such a thing as being too lucky? Like maybe Maybe in the sense that, like, you luck can. Ooh, that's not even a good run, but we'll cope with it. I feel like too much luck is a problem in the sense that it may run out. Like if someone goes through their entire life and they're just like everything is falling into place, like whatever, like they think they're going to fail an exam, but then the exact question comes up that they like know a little bit or whatever. Like if that just happens all throughout your life, and you get like a job offer that you like have no business getting or whatever because you meet someone at a bar or whatever, it's all good. Like there's nothing really wrong about that. But if it ever does, like even 20 years down the line, run out, I don't know if you could really cope with that, you know? So in that sense, there, I suppose there is such a thing as too much luck. Okay, things are getting serious. I'm switching from the Carlsberg to just sparkling water because I'm focused. This is the run, guys. This is the run. Probably been saying that for an hour at this point. The thing is, it's I won't jinx it. There's certainly quite a possibility that it's going to fail. But even in the scenario that it does pass, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if it was just a really bad score. Oh, you're already on the HiRobot Discord. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so now Dragon's low, Dragon high. By the way, no one calls it Dragothic. Like, isn't the official name. So there's like a slang around the old 3 marks. So Aquamark, I like to call it Aqua or Aquamark, but a lot of people call it AM3, which I find because there was an Aquamark 1 and 2, and the Aquamark that is HiRobot ranked is actually Aquamark 3. But AM3 to me is an AMD socket, so I'll never call it AM3. So I call it Aqua. I just call it Aqua. 01. So I've got your 7 subtests. Nature has never gotten a like a nickname, but like there's lobbies. Lobbies just called lobbies. Car, you can't really. There's no way to nickname cars. Car high, car low. CHCL for short. DLDTH for Dragon Low, Dragon High. But no one calls it Dragothic. It's just a weird word. It's called Dragons because there's a dragon in it. Lobby, it's got a lobby in it, so that name can stay. And then in 03, you've got GT1, 2, 3. So here they're not numbered because the run order is flexible, but in 03, because there's 4 distinct subtests, we call them graphics test 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you can also call them I think GT1 is officially called like Wings of Fury or something in the bench, but we just call it planes because it's a lot of planes flying around. Retro hardware, cool. 205, 382. We have a run, and it's about 1,000 points down. But you've got to remember that 1,000 points, because the previous run was like a higher multi and stuff. 1,000 points is only like 0.5% in this bench, so it's just a few frames here and there. 574 car high, 3.5, 3.4, 3.5, 3.4. Dragon's low is suffering. Dragon low really is suffering. Lobby low 25.30. Ooh, that's terrible as well. Hmm. 205, 382. Okay, let's try looping So car high is the one that has a lot of variance. Let's be safe and drop half multi. Let's see how looping car high can affect the score. So now we go. There's a few Geronimos, but I don't find Geronim. Oh, triple O. Geronimo. Okay. No O. Joined 1 year ago. Okay, cool. Funny that people consider Core 2 Duo to be retro hardware. For me, retro hardware is like Super Socket 7 or something. Oh, okay, so we did get a pop. So, well, I don't know how much of a pop, but you got 17 more FPS out of that. Okay, all right, okay. All of that didn't really amount to a whole lot of nothing, but it was very educational. Now let's try the new NVS inspector. Do we have... It's weird how... It's like high CPU clock doesn't affect the bench, but it does affect opening up GPU Z and stuff. Weird, very weird. Okay, let's boot this thing up. Okay. While clocks are not applied, let's apply log. What version of DirectX is this though? DirectX 9 is too new. Let's see if we get something. That's fine. We can keep that on. Just disable this. Oh, okay. That applied. Okay, excellent. Okay, now let's do literally the exact same run. That's weird though. That's kind of mislabeled because I'm pretty sure. Hey, Matthew WRS, good to see you again. How are you doing? Okay, so we had a 154.5. And we did a 41 run. Now let's just per quarter it as well. Let's just be consistent and do nature first. Just to have like an absolutely like for like comparison. Clocks, we gotta make sure our clocks are good. Past all. Yeah, well, Matthew, no, not that's not your fault. I haven't actually streamed in 3 months, so uh, yeah, mostly probably me not streaming rather than you not catching a stream. Oh, no clocks applied at all. Okay, that's not ideal. Okay. It's supposed to, I thought it blurred the timer and the FPS. Maybe I'm mixing it up with O3. But we have LOD in the actual rendered image, so we should see it. Maybe the LOD is shit, but we should see a difference in score for sure. I'm kind of sad that I'm not seeing the full glory of the butterflies anymore, though. Okay, things are happening. We've got B clock applied, LOD applied, GPU clocks applied, CPU clocks applied, affinity and priority, down core. That's 7 things. The only thing that I'm still not clear on is run order, to be fair. Whoop, that almost looked like a fail, but okay, so that gave us 50 FPS in this subtest. So let's do the other 6 as well. I don't know if this little render test trick that I'm doing is really doing what I think it's doing, but I've gotten so used to it now, it's too late to stop. Ah, see, here's the blurring. That's what I got confused with. So here, part of the HUD kind of, or GUI is kind of getting blurred, and that's what I thought I knew I'd seen. Okay, car low, car high. The only thing. Oh, that's dropping. Oh yeah. See, we're hoping for like a 570 average, so yeah, but it then goes to 99 at the end. The only thing with O1 that's a little bit frustrating is you can't get that control, like fine grained control of how the subtests are doing. I know the subtests are relatively quick. They're like 30-40 seconds each, but what 3, what I find quite satisfying is you have an end frame because it displays the total frames rendered, so you know exactly, oh, I've got 113k end frame, and last run I had 112k end frame. How have I been? I've been good. I mean, it's in Australia, it's like the days are getting shorter and the weather's getting colder, but yeah, I had a lot of fun benching recently. Yeah, I've had 2 beers tonight, so how bad can I really feel after two Carlsbergs? Okay, so this is, I think this is Dragon's Low that we're seeing here. No, that was Dragon's High. Now Lobby Low. Yeah, shame there's no transit coding. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe I was hoping to maybe kind of try and fall into like a once every 2 weeks type rhythm. Let's see. Maybe I'll stream in a week's time just to see, because I do know it's happened to me before where after a few months of inactivity, the first stream back, Twitch didn't give me transcoding, because transcoding anyway is only sort of guaranteed for partners, which is obviously really unobtainable. So um, it's not guaranteed for affiliates. Is that what I am? Affiliate, yeah. But usually when I stream a little bit, they see like the viewership numbers. Not that they're like amazing, but like I think if you have like more than like 0 or 1 viewers on average, 2.2k better than the previous best. Okay, let's actually look at the ranking as it currently stands. 01. So my currently sub score is 206. So now I'm gonna be passing Doomed. Passing Noliso would be nice, but so let's see. So Doomed is lower on CPU clocks. He's also on XP30. No, he's XP64. He's got his RAM dialed in, which may make a tiny bit of a difference. How can I go? Here we go. Yeah, so he's got a good car high. That's obviously he's rerun that a lot, or um, it's in a better spot in his run order or something. Let's actually screen grab this. Car high is better. Without even looking at my score, I know his car high is better. My car high is diabolical. Car low almost equal. Dragons, I'm actually better on Dragons low, worse on Dragons high. Lobby low, I'm missing 200 FPS somehow, and 100 on lobby high. My nature is way better. Okay. I'm sort of paranoid. GPU Z open will somehow like crash things. I'm just gonna be careful. Wait for everything to open up. Yeah, but I'm just replying in text because this Geronimo guy, English is his second language, so he's using, just for everyone else in chat, he's using Google Translate to translate. So I'm not sure how much point there is in me replying in spoken word. Whereas, obviously in chat, if I put it in text, they can throw that into. I fucked it up, haven't I? My CPU Z won't open now. That's okay. I'll just get a better score, right? Will my GPU Z open? Oh, and it's blurred on the stream. Okay, I'll go back to the other res later. Yeah, it's blurred on the stream because I went to 1080p to get the screenshot. Oh yeah, I'll get a screenshot for my files basically, but okay, no opening up two different CPU. I forgot that that's the thing on XP. On newer OSs, it's not really a thing anymore that opening multiple CPU Zs leads to that. Okay, so we've got our score and it's 208, 934, and I'm just going to note down the subtests. Close one, GPZ. What did I change recently? Oh, 04 LOD 2862 568 3601 16 no 18 18558 2509 1253 2282 208 934. Since we're gonna have to reboot to get a working CPU Z anyway, may as well per core. Oh, this is pointless. Let's try a 42x run per core, which is not registering on car high only. Okay, that works. Okay, cool. As I say that. Okay. So basically, I just want to rerun that. With a working CPU Z this time. So I can grab the screen. I had this idea of adding a front USB, thinking that maybe I could get USB support working easily, but no such luck. I'll have to install that infamous AMD XP USB 3.0 driver if I can, because it's a bit annoying having to pull the drive every time I want to put something on it, like NV Inspector. Okay, apply. I wanted to do 155, right? So add 41. Equals are pointless. Nope. Do I pre-run nature? It seemed to like that, or maybe it was the lot, but I'll just stay consistent. I don't know if it's gonna pass. Even at half B clock is significant. I should double check my lot, even though I've had weird crashes. Drop the first core. Double check GPU Z. Yeah, okay, we're getting something resembling a run together here. In spite of all my skepticism and gallows humor. Okay, it's just nature anyway. So it's like a 52-second run, if I'm remembering right. Okay, so last time we had a 2182. I took that down wrong. Oh no, it is a 2282. Whoa, so 150 FPS from LOD. That's crazy. And now we just straight run everything else. But get our clocks back up. Don't crash, please. Oh. It heard me. Whoops. Okay. Hopefully that half B clock can eke a little bit more out. Hopefully no crash just because of that little bit more CPU clock. The spot where we'd see the crash, if there were to be a crash, would likely be Dragon's High. Yeah, so if this passes, I'd like to just grab it straight away and then run off a few. I might, since one multi higher for car high is too high, I might go one or two B clocks higher instead. Original or mod? Yeah, Lightnings have, especially on the LN2 bias, have more than enough vCore, vMem, and vaux memory control, and a pretty sizable power limit. I have heard that they still OCP in certain conditions on the LN2 though, so I'll have to check that. So what are we at now? This is, it looks like lobby low, but hard to tell, right? Because both of them are over 1000 FPS. We'll see if the next one's nature, then that's lobby high. But yeah, okay, lobby low. Guess was good. Yeah, here's, oh, actually, nature is pre-run, so this is actually our last subtest. Exciting stuff. $209 400, so another like 500 points. It's pretty close to Noliso's. That's less than 1,000 points to go. Damn it. Okay, but uh, let's just very carefully attempt to take a screenshot. One CPU Z. Let's just let it do its thing. Okay, select the right cores. Okay, next CPU Z. As long as it doesn't crash the other GPU Zs, CPU Zs. I don't know why the third one was a problem. Okay. So as soon as this opens, I don't want to jinx it. Come on. Come on. This is a legal screenshot. Let's take it. Let's bank it. And it's 209 422. Okay. Just gonna be paranoid and double check it. Yeah, got everything in there. Let's go back to the bench res. And so 594 car high. Shit, okay. Is it even worth rerunning that? 594, 3535, 1883, 2544, 1232, and 2283. So up in every test except lobby high. Oh, down. Okay, we'll rerun car high anyway. And like I said, the way we'll do it is beat clock. Like a flat 6.4. I was running 6.450 earlier though. I'm getting greedy again. I mean, even that isn't that high, but okay. Get our clocks up. These GPU Z opens. I don't even need it because I have another GPU Z here. So we're hoping to beat a 594. This car chase is pretty exciting, I have to say. I mean, it's got nothing on nature, but okay. So that was worse. 5.74. That's even worse. Who told me that you can just keep rerunning car high and get a higher score? It's car low. That's the one. Okay. Just checking my notes, and it's actually the wrong subtest that I'm rerunning. If only I had a way to like properly lock the clocks on this OS. And if only there were some indication during the run whether it's going to be fast or not, so I could escape out of it when it's crap. Like, I wonder if the lowest FPS means anything. Like 340, is that bad? Or is it good? 316? Okay. Not as good as it was at the beginning, but okay, let me rerun Carlo. And I mean, I'm up on clock, so like potentially I could rerun any of the subtests basically, except dragons. Okay, that made things worse as well. Interesting. Interesting. Let's give lobby high a go, since that was actually the worst score coming in. But I'm happy with that. That's some decent progress being made today. What was it? 422. But yeah, it does kind of look like I'll have to check off stream. I'll have to check if nature going so high was just LOD, or if it actually likes early run out order. So the potential run order would be something like car high, dragons high, lobby high, and then the lows, and then nature, I guess. Okay, let's just start an entirely new run. While the system is still up and running and cooperating, which, you know, it's probably going to go away any minute now. All the highs. So 3 subtests. I wonder if it just passes now. Like, is there something that I've found? Probably not, but yeah. I'll just out of curiosity, I'll try and let nature last and see if it still holds up that 100 FPS, even more. Like with LOD, it gained 150 FPS. Hmm. I'm learning a lot tonight. stats. Well, lobby high seems to have benefited from that. Low, low, low nature. Okay, so that's. Am I really at 156 already? I kind of have to keep going until I get a crash, right? Dragons, lobby, nature. Come on, the butterflies. There we go. It doesn't look as nice with lot applied. That's the only thing. I know it scores higher and that's all that really matters, but zero law nature is pretty nice. Wow, okay, it worked. Oh, I'm 21 points short of Noliso. Ah, god damn it. uh, if only I had enough like knowledge to know what to rerun to get those 20 points. Nature looks good. 2895, the biggest car low we've seen. 576 car high, that might actually be rerun worthy this time around. Dragons high 80 to 1877. Ooh. 25 28, lobby low, lobby high is 2060. So we got our 30 FPS back that we lost somehow in so nature last didn't seem to give a shit. Okay, I gotta save this. This is the first 210. That's pretty momentous. Okay, boom. Oh god, but the CPZ opens are gonna kill me. Select the right core. Yeah, but a car high rerun, like even like 5 more FPS might do it. Like that's a really low car high. Yeah, let's just get the screenshot out, and because the gap to the next person is like 214 to Carta. That's that's not happening. Not tonight, not on this setup. Okay, whatever. I have the screenshot, right? Yeah, that I can rename it later. Make sure to go back to the bench res. Okay, what's our target again? We need, what did we say we needed? 391. 391 result. 391. Car high. Our clock's up. I'll just keep looking at the score because it's going to be a complete score. I don't really have to look at the FPS. I just have to keep rerunning until we've got 391. And I can probably even give this subtest like a little bit of a bump in terms of B clock. It's not really one that crashes a lot, as far as I can sort of remember. Why is everything so slow on this OS? So 314 was, I think, the low that we saw. 322. If that means anything, then whoa, 150 points, and we only needed like 12. But the problem is now I want to keep running. And it's a 3-hour stream. Like literally like hit the target like basically like 2 seconds after ticking over 3 hours for the stream. Oh, damn it. I want to keep rerunning. This is 01. This is what 01 is all about. I don't think I had the core selected in the previous screenshot, so it's just as well that no, but we're not going to get 4,000 more points, so let's just okay. 210 53. What is it? 210 534. Okay, guys. 3-hour stream. Eked some scores out. That was actually pretty satisfying. Thanks for watching. Talk to you in a week or 2 weeks. Not quite sure yet what I'll be benching, but thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff.